Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Fitness. In today's episode I'm going to be talking all about how to get abs or a six pack. So right off the bat I want to talk about how important your nutrition is. That is because it doesn't matter how muscularly developed your abs are, you need to have a low enough body fat percentage for them to actually show. We all have a friend who's super skinny, they don't have any muscle either, but they're really proud of their six pack. And that's because of how low their body fat percentage is. So that exact number is going to be different for everybody, and it also depends on how much muscle you actually have present. So if you have more muscle, it might show at a higher body fat percentage than if you had very little muscular development. But the key is that you need to make sure that your body fat percentage is low enough. Even if you're working out every single day, doesn't matter how hard you and how much effort you're putting in, if you don't have a low enough body fat percentage, your muscles aren't going to show, and that's just going to be a waste of your effort and a waste of your time. You might be stronger, you might be healthier because of how your core and their core function is to look after your organs and everything like that, but you won't have any visible ab muscles if your body fat percentage is not low enough. So with that being said, let's get into the exercises. So you first need to understand the functions of your ab muscles. So you've got something called the transverse abdominis, which is your six pack muscles, and then you also have something called the rectus abdominis is the six pack muscle. Then you also have something called the transverse abdominis, which is basically like a belt that runs around your waist. Then you have the internal and external obliques. So all of those are different functions. You can't train specifically, you can't target them and you can't isolate them, but you can definitely focus on them. So you need to pick exercises that include bottom up movements and then bottom up twisting movements. You need to include exercises that include like thrusting sideways and then also resisting that. Then you also need to include top down, and you also need to include top down rotation. And that's to attack those all those different muscles, and to really focus on them for maximum growth. You really have to think about each of those different movements and how to include all of them. So as for how long and how often you need to train, you don't need to be training in the gym for an hour to get gains for your abs. You can pick an exercise for each of those specific movements and do it for around 30 to 60 seconds each. Even if you're more advanced, there's no reason why you should find it too easy to do an exercise for 60 seconds. Then you need to be upgrading the difficulty of your exercises. So some people can hold a plank for hours. The world record is like multiple different hours, and that's because the more advanced you are, the more easy basic exercises become. So you need to be leveling up the intensity of your exercise, not the duration of how long you're doing it for. So your exercise and your workout should only take you about 6 to 7 minutes in total to do a full complete ab workout. And that saves a lot of time, and that should be actually very difficult. That should burn, that should hurt. And then as for how often you do an ab workout, your abs actually have the ability to be trained every single day. So if you can handle 7 days a week, I would definitely recommend that. For me personally, at the moment, I'm doing about 4 or 5 days a week. It's an improvement from where I was a few weeks ago when I was only doing it about twice, and you can see the massive changes already. So they have the ability to heal really fast. So just because of their function and their importance in your body as a whole. So train them as often as possible. You don't need to be training for an entire hour. You can get the maximum gains that you can possibly see if you're training the exact movements and the exact areas that you want to grow within 6 to 7 minutes. And also make sure you're focusing on your nutrition, because no matter how much work you're putting in, you're not going to be able to see your abs if your body fat percentage isn't low enough. So if you found this helpful, please double tap and leave a comment if you'd like me to cover any other topics.